removal of males from female prisons.
Good afternoon, my friends, and today I have a very important video that I must share with you all. Welcome to California High Desert Preacher. My name's James, and I will be your host for the remainder of this video. Something that has been brewing in our society here in the United States and around Western culture for the last 5 years, being pushed by super deep pockets and special interest groups and political enemies of Christianity in America that has been taking place for a long time has finally come to reality, not only in the United States, but in Canada and I believe in different parts of Europe. As you can see on your screen, the headlines read, California prisoners grappling with hundreds of transgender inmates requesting new housing. And as you can see on your screen, there is a man who is wearing makeup, who either has a wig on or has very long hair. He seems to be in women's apparel, who has his women's jewelry on. And the story, without me going too much into the article, is a story about a person whose name is Kelly Blackwell Long. And this person is looking to escape her life as a transgender woman in California prison system. This person has been struggling, according to this article, and been looking for the day that the door would open for him to go to a male-dominant prison to a female-dominant prison, because he apparently identifies as a woman, even though he was born with the pelvis and the genitalia of a male. And so today's story is about how governments, not just in the United States of America, but in Canada and different parts of Western culture, have now legalized men who identify as women and transitioning from being male-born, going into female, whatever that is. I don't even know the terms because, well, I don't want to know the terms. And people like me who are bringing light to this story and this issue are being called transgender phobia. And so to those who would call me that and accuse me of that, you know, the word phobia is a way to describe fear of something. And I have to tell you, before you label me with this progressive satanic terminology, I'm not afraid of transgender anybody, whether it be man to woman or woman to man. And the reason why I'm not is because I'm a born again Christian and my channel is about Jesus Christ and Christianity. And recently, I have to mention, in the last few weeks, I have been made fun of, scoffed, and demonized by some of my fellow Christians. And in my area, because I have stood fast, have made it a flat-footed attempt to call out sin, perversion, and immorality, and calling it what the Bible says it is, that it's an abomination unto God on this particular group that has been pushing for this and many other angles of attack from the LGBTQIA+P community. And so I've been told that I'm too rough when I'm out ministering in the neighborhoods and in the streets, and that I'm too harsh, and that I just need to present the love part of Christianity and Christ in the Bible. And I should exclude the parts of the Bible that talk about hell, sin, and eternal damnation. And this type of mentality has been taking place for many, many, many years here in the United States of America and around the world. And here we are today, and this is the end result of that type of thinking. I call that stinking thinking Christianity. I call that type of thinking being put on the forefront of the even jellyfish church. The Cotton Candy Christian Club has dominated Christianity in America for about 50 years, and it is all spun off of the get rich prosperity Christianity that has dominated the United States for many, many decades. But let me go further into my original point of this story. Right here, you can see another story right here of a prisoner whose name is Karen White, that's 52 years old, that has been arrested. Why he or she or him or they were imprisoned doing jail time for sexually assaulting women on the outside, and that was incarcerated and then turned into a predator while he was in a woman's facility and raped two other women. This person has also been questioned for sexually assaulting animals or performing indecent acts around children as well. So I have the saying that goes of you don't stand for something that you'll fall for anything. And the establishment of today has done exactly that. They gravitate towards perversion. And in America, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, you know that the establishment loves to go ahead and invade Christianity, the Christian church, through the progressive Christian church that is promoting the LGBTQIA or IA plus P community, that's spitting forth not biblical principles, not the American nuclear family heterosexual principles, not the in the beginning in the book of Genesis where God says that God created Adam and then took a rib out of Adam and made Eve, and that she was to be the wife and the helpmeet of that man, and that God wanted them to go ahead and multiply and cover the earth. No, they don't want that to get out. What they want you to believe is you're using true love when you affirm this movement. Well, I'm trying to tell you this is the nuclear fallout of this movement. I have several websites that I'm going to take you to, and I'm going to show you the truth on how the fallout of this movement is just dominating. I'll leave a link down in the description. So, according to this movement, and according to a lot of humanists and a lot of New Age philosophy and religious beliefs, the historical Christianity, the historical Christian movement that is still present in the United States of America is abusive to women. We believe that women shouldn't be in leadership and shouldn't be teaching behind the pulpit and shouldn't be asserting authority over men. They're saying that we're oppressive to women and that this historical form of Christianity is abusive to women. But yet, as you can see here, The same movement that is involved in spreading that lie about God and the Holy Bible and historical Christianity. And when I say historical, I mean the Christianity that was birthed in the early church, that Paul wrote about in the New Testament, that is recorded in the Torah. Guys, this movement is actually doing more damage to women than any other movement. This is one of many tools Satan is using to destroy America. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. Why is it that these organizations have the most richest, the most financially empowered private organizations and private donors than any other movement in the history of modern man? Because those private donors, those secret societies, and those special interest groups all come from the same base. They come from Satan. They start from a Marxist and socialist and communist foundation. They're the ones that have birthed the LGBTQIA+P community. They birthed BLM. They have birthed Antifa. Shall I keep going? I can do this all day long. There are several websites that I have found that are fighting for the sanctity of women and their rights, but yet throughout society in the last 100+ years, we have been told through the establishment and pop culture that men want to keep women down, that men want to abuse women, that men want to keep women beneath their feet, and that heterosexual traditional nuclear family values are detrimental to women. You see the lie, and you see how Satan works. He always creates a counterfeit to everything that God has already instituted. Not only that, but I would like to share with you a revelation that God gave me a few weeks ago. I don't need social constructs spawned by government, that is the United Nations one world government that I'm talking about right now. I don't need county, city, state, or federal government to teach me how to behave and conduct myself out in a social environment. The Holy Bible has already given me constructs, rules, and steps that I could follow to conduct myself as a human being, as an American, but most of all, as a follower of Jesus. I don't need the LGBT community to tell me how to treat women. My Bible already does. I don't need them to tell me how to treat other people who identify as something different. My Bible already does. I don't need Jesse Jackson or any other social movement or any other ambassador of any other social movement to tell me, and I don't need the government to get involved politically and pass laws that are detrimental to my freedoms, my freedom of speech, my freedom of thought, my freedom of religion, my freedom of worship, my house of worship, and my lifestyle, and how I treat and educate and raise my children, because the Bible already does. And you see, America, where the Christian church has fallen short so bad, where we have faltered so bad, is that we have allowed the government and social movements through pop culture and the influence of the entertainment industry to creep in and do exactly that. And then we have adapted their ideologies to go with it. This is why you, pastor, sitting at home watching this video, or you father, or you mother, or you Sunday school teacher, or you Sunday school instructor, or you college professor at a Christian university, have allowed your very children to be influenced by pop culture. Do you know where the word cult comes from? They only added it to pop culture. Culture. It doesn't come from cultivating crops, by the way. That's a lie. It comes from being influenced by cults, which comes from pagan, satanic, demonic worship. I want to challenge all of you who are subscribed to this channel to leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, because this is not a conspiracy theory. This is a reality that we live in today, and it is only going to get worse. Do you want to speak out for women's rights? Women's freedom? You want to speak out for women to be treated right? Then what you need to do is join this movement. But no, what you even need to do more than that is to join the family of Jesus Christ, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and realize that God designed His Word, and He designed men and women to fulfill a certain role in the society that God was created back in the Garden of Eden. There was no such thing as equality, because God created men to play a certain role, and He's created women to play a certain role. Satan came along and deceived Eve and Adam. And from that point on, he started what I would call the battle of the sexes, which spawned out all these other social topic and issues that he created so he could bring government in to enforce solutions to problems that did not, and I'll repeat this again, did not exist prior to the fall of man and to the collective organized form of government that was formed outside of biblical principles and Christian beliefs. Guys, I want to say I hope this video has blessed you. Like I said earlier, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, leave me a comment down below.
So, by granting trans-identified men access to women's prisons on the basis of self-ID, women's health, women's lives, and women's safety are put at risk. A disproportionate number of these men who are applying for access based on their gender identity are violent offenders, they are sex offenders, they are pedophiles described as prolific. Placing men in women's prisons violates women's rights to freedom of expression, as those who object are penalized.